Managing projects with GitHub is like trying to code with your hands tied. It's time consuming, it's repetitive, and kinda soul crushing. But what if I told you that you could automate all of it, all without writing a single line of code? That's why in this video I'm going to show you how to create amazing GitHub issues just like this. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's connect GitHub. So first go to github.com/settings/apps. Link is in the description below. Next go to personal access tokens, and we're going to go to a token classic. Let's click generate new token. We want to use the token classic. We're going to call it testing for YouTube. We'll give it an expiry date. And we're going to need all of repo. We're going to need all of user. Notifications is good to have. Discussion can be good sometimes. We're going to need project as well, and we might need some others, but for now let's just add those. And then let's copy this token right here. Let's go back over to n8n and let's click new credential, and we'll go GitHub. We'll do the GitHub API, click continue. We'll add our username. This is the GitHub username, and we'll add the token. Now we'll click save, and looks like we're good to go. Now we need to connect Claude. So go ahead and go to console.anthropic.com/settings/keys. Link is in the description below. And click create key. Call it whatever you want. Click add and copy that key. Go back over to n8n. Let's add an AI agent node. Jump out of it. And where it says chat model right here, click Anthropic. Click here. Click create new credential. Paste your API key. Click save. And we're good to go. Let's connect Google Drive. So to get started, let's go to console.cloud.google.com. I will leave a link in the description down below. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to make a new project really quickly. Now, if you already have a project, you don't have to do this. I'm going to give the project a name and just click create. Beautiful. Now let's select that project, and we're going to go to the top here and we're going to type in Drive, and we're going to click on Google Drive API. Next, click enable, and it will bring you to this beautiful screen. Now we're going to go to our OAuth consent screen right here on the left, and we're going to click get started. We're going to give our app a name. I'm going to call it YouTube Drive Test. We're going to select an email, click next. We're going to click external and click next, and then we're going to put an email here and click next, and then agree and click continue and click create. Next, we're going to go to data access on the left. We're going to add or remove scopes. Scroll down and make sure you select all the rows. Right now we've got 41. Click this checkbox and click update, and then click save. Now let's go over to audience, and let's add a test user right here. Now this email is the email that you will be using to connect to the Google Drive, and click save. Now let's go to clients and let's create a client. We're going to click application type and select web application. We'll give it a name. And for authorized redirect URIs, we have to go over to n8n now. So we'll go to n8n. We'll click create credential. We'll search Drive, select Google Drive OAuth. Click continue, and this is the URL that we want. And we'll go back, we'll add it, and we'll click create. And then we'll grab this client ID, we'll pop it in there. We'll grab the client secret, we'll pop it just below, and we'll click sign in with Google, and we'll sign in with the account that we approved. It'll ask us what scopes we want. We'll click continue, and we're good to go. Now that we have everything connected, I'm going to show you really quickly how this works, okay? So here's the workflow that we're going to be building today. As you can see, it's rather long, and I'll be editing it soon and adding to it. So I'll do another video as I add to it. But for now, the idea is it makes it really, really easy to create GitHub issues across multiple different projects, multiple different repos, and different users using them. So how it works is all we have to do is click test workflow, and this form comes up. We can put a very simple description of the GitHub issue. Now, it doesn't need to be very large. It does have to be a bit descriptive, though. So, for an example, let's put, the shopping cart is not working, error 502. We're going to select the project. Now, these are the names of the GitHub repos. We're going to give it a status. Now, when I talk about statuses, I'm talking about here these different columns. So our team will have a pending column, right? And these are the tasks that they can work on. So when they start working on it, they will put it to in progress, right? When they're done working on it, they put it to in review. Then a project manager will review it, and if it's approved, it will go to done, and then an automation will be sent out to a client on a merge or something like that, and they'll get an email. Anytime we're planning or any tasks are being pulled out, we'll put them in the backlog for later, just in case we need them. So just explaining that real quick. Let's jump back over to the form. We're going to say pending for now. Now the priority is how important it is, 0 being really important, 2 being not so important. So we'll put priority 1. Then we can add any screenshots if we want to. We can also add a due date, and we can assign the task to people, right? So I'm going to add a test screenshot right here. We're going to add a test due date. We're going to give it to Fabricio as a test. And you can put a link to a Loom video or something. So let me put a test video and click submit, and we should be good to go. Now that the form is submitted, we can see the workflow working really quickly. And then we can see right here that we have the shopping cart error already done. It is really descriptive compared to what I originally wrote. Now on mine, I have a Portuguese translation down here as well because a lot of our guys speak Portuguese, right? But that being said, you can see we have screenshots, we have video links, steps to reproduce the issue. It's a really, really good, well-written issue, and it came from a little tiny prompt, right? We've got our status, we've got priority, everything's good to go. All right, so now let me show you guys how we built this, okay? So first we're starting off with a form. Now, with mine, I have some simple authentication. In order to make authentication, you can just click here, click Basic Auth. You can create a new credential, put a username and a password, and then when you go to the form, it's password locked, okay? That is really important. That being said, for this tutorial, I'm not going to put it there just so that you guys can have this as an example. I give it a title, give it a description, right? Then the first thing is a issue description. Now this is the most important thing, obviously. This is a text area and it is required. Without this, we can't have any of this automation. So it's the most important. Now here we have what project is it? And these are the names of the GitHub repos, right? So in GitHub, you have organization projects, and in those organizational projects, you can connect them to multiple repos. So you can have a back-end repo and a front-end repo connected to one project, right? So this right here is the name of the repository that we're creating the issue for. It's exactly the same. It needs to be the same, so make sure it's the same, okay? And that one is required because without knowing which project, we can't create the issue. And then we have the status. Now, this one is also required. However, if you don't send a status, it'll just say no status, which is fine. But this just needs to be changed to however you guys organize your GitHub projects, okay? And these are the same options that we have here, as you can see. Got it? Next, we have the priority, P0, 1, and 2. Now, these ones are directly from GitHub. Then we have any screenshots. Now, this one's not required, but it is allowing for multiple files, and I am limiting it to only JPEG images. Now, next, we have a due date. Now, this one's not required, but it does help out. Then we have the owner. And I just put the names of all the different developers that could work on these repos that we're managing right now. And then I have a field for any related videos or looms that might be related to the issue so that they could be attached alongside the issue. And we're responding when the form is submitted. And then down here, I made some custom styling to the n8n form because I think it looks ugly with the orange and the white. What I did was I went to ChatGPT. Actually, I'll show you what I did. So what I did was I said, change the styling to be in Montserrat with these brand colors, but make it look amazing. And then I gave our brand colors here, the different colors. And then I just copied and pasted their original CSS. Now it came out with some CSS that was kind of bad. So I went a little bit further. I said the button looks weird, and it came up with some stuff that didn't make any sense at all. So then what I did was I went to the form, I clicked test step, I right clicked, I went inspect element, and I just copied this whole HTML element like this. And I went into ChatGPT and I pasted it in. I was like, just do it again. This looks weird. This part looks weird. Fix this with the colors above. And it did. And it came out with some more CSS. And then I took that CSS right and I posted it directly right here in the custom form styling. Now you can find that in the extra options down below, and it looks beautiful. I also added the form path right here of YouTube. This one is for the test. Obviously, I'm not going to give you the real URL. Next, we have an if node. Now, this node right here is just detecting to see if any screenshots have happened. So let me pin some test data here for you guys. All right, so I pinned some test data right here to the form so you guys can see what's happening. So all I did here was I dragged JSON of any screenshots right here, and I put just like this, drag and drop, right? And then I put array exists right here, okay? So if there is screenshots, it goes up. If there's no screenshots, it goes down, okay? So I'm going to explain if it has no screenshots really quickly because it's a little bit easier, and then we'll go up. So now here I have an AI agent where I connected Claude. Now you can connect Gemini, you can connect ChatGPT. It doesn't matter what you connect here. What's really important though is the prompt and the structured output parser. So we go to the AI agent node. And I have this amazing prompt. It says your task is to generate GitHub issues. You have to use markdown format. Only return a JSON object with 2 keys. I tell it to add a couple of emojis. I tell it to create some database examples if it needs to. And they come out quite good. And then I say, here's the issue, right? And I grab it from the form, describe the issue. So I just drag and drop just like this. And then here's the video. And I drag and drop just like this, right? And that turns into the prompt, right? And then I say, format your response exactly like this. And I put an example JSON down here with title, your generated title, description, your GitHub flavored markdown description, right? And then the Portuguese translation for our guys, and then the video link, right? So then what I did was I checked require specific output format. That's really important. Okay. Then I added a structured output parser. Now you can add those by clicking right here. Click on the structured output parser. It looks like this. And I just have title and description like that in a JSON form. And when I get the response back, it looks like this. So this one is almost exactly the same. So now we have the title and the description. The output is the same right here and right here. Now that's if we don't have any screenshots, okay? Now if we do have screenshots in GitHub, they don't let you directly embed screenshots into the description. So we have to provide either links or embed them in the description. So in order to do that, we have to host them using Google Drive or using OneDrive or whatever it is that you guys want to use, right? So right here, I have this quick code node. Now what this does is this separates any screenshot items into a list that we can use for the loop over items. Because if I upload multiple screenshots right here on this JSON from the issue form, it will come as one object. And so if it goes over loop over items, it'll only grab the first screenshot. And if there's more than one screenshot, it won't work. So I made this really cool code node, well, ChatGPT did, honestly, that passes the image binary and the image meme type and everything so that the image can be used in the loop over node. I will leave this code on my blog, so don't worry about that. You can check that out in the description below. Then next we have our loop over items node, right? Now this is just doing a loop. Here all we're going to do is for each image, we're going to upload it to Google Drive and we're going to give it permission. We're going to do that for every image we upload. So we could upload 10 images and it would add 10 images to the GitHub description. So first we've got our Google Drive node. Now we use the credential we connected earlier. We're using the file resource, uploading. You put data as the field name, right? You put data as the file name too. Honestly, this doesn't really matter. You choose the folder that you would like to use for the GitHub, right? And that's it. Then it will upload directly to your Google Drive, which is great. But then if you go to add it to GitHub, well, you don't have permission to view the file, right? So we have to update the file permission. And I do that using an HTTP node. This is a little bit more complex, okay? So in here, we're just doing a post method to this URL right here, googleapis.com drive v3 files. Now I'm grabbing the ID of the file from the last drive, so it's right here. You just drag this and drop. This is coming from the Google Drive node, okay? / permissions, all right? I'm using a predefined credential, and in there you can find your Google Drive if you scroll down, and I added the right credential right here. Okay, the same credential we connected earlier. Makes it a lot easier. Then I enabled send body as type JSON using JSON, and I just said role reader type anyone, which gives anybody read permissions to this file of this ID right here. And that ID is coming from here, the file that we just uploaded. Okay, so this makes the file public. Then I have a quick edit fields because I want to make sure things are a little bit more organized. So I grabbed the link from the image that we uploaded, which is this link right here. You can just drag and drop so that when things get here, they're a little bit more organized and they're not so chaotic, right? Now this code node, all this is doing is combining all of the links with one line break afterwards. So if I had multiple links, it would show up like this, so that when I add it to the prompt, it adds really well. If I was to just add it directly from here to the prompt, if there's a lot of images, you might get an object error. It might not format correctly. There's a lot of little issues that might pop up. So by formatting this really quickly in a code node beforehand, it allows the prompt to turn out quite okay. And so if we look at the prompt here, the prompt is exactly the same. The only difference is right here, we have here are any related screenshots to attach to the issue. Always add it if they exist, right? And it has a link, and it would have multiple links like this below, right? And it gives the same output as the other AI node, this one down here, right? Everything else is exactly the same, so you can copy paste. And it gives this beautiful output of a GitHub issue with a nice title. All right, now, once you get the response from both AIs, we have an edit node here. Now this edit node, all we're doing is we're grabbing the response from the last node. Okay, so you can literally just drag the title over, it pops up like this. Now, Austin, why would you do this? Well, because if I was here and I needed to get information from this node, right, but it went this way instead, then this would error. So to avoid it from erroring, I put one node right here so that all of the nodes that follow can get information from here instead of any information from this big blob right here, which prevents errors if it changes, whether it's up or down. Next, we have a quick if, and this if is just saying, yo, if we're trying to assign this issue to a specific developer, so you can literally just grab owner right here, drag and drop, and we say it's a string and it's not empty. And I put convert types when required, even though it will always be a string, so you don't have to worry about it, right? And so if we are assigning it to a developer, it becomes true. And if we're not, we do nothing, and we continue to the next node, right? So here we're setting the username, right? So I have the usernames of all of my developers. All this is doing is this is a quick piece of code that is changing the name I select to be the GitHub account. It's just the username of their GitHub account. So I'm just matching them, right? So I'm saying, yo, you know, for me, my GitHub account is grunt32. Mateos's GitHub account is Vegana, right? So because of this, when I select on the form Austin, it will automatically map my GitHub account. So you can just have ChatGPT make that piece of code for you. I will post it in the blog as well for you guys though. Next, we're setting the variables, and the reason why we're doing it this way is because of the same issue right here. Because if it goes up and I grab the username, it'll work. If it goes down and I try to grab a username, it will make an error. We don't want that, right? So we're adding this node right here to make sure everything works just fine. Next, we have our first GitHub node. Now, we use the connected GitHub account. We use the issue resource with operation create, right? We put the repository owner. Now, in this case, this is our company's GitHub, right? Next, we put the repository name. Now, this name, again, is coming from the form right here. Which project is it? This is the repository name. Put the title. We're grabbing the title from the node before. Right here, which this came from the AI node, right? We're grabbing the body, which is right here, and we're grabbing the assignees. Now, if there is no assignees, this will work just fine. It'll be blank, and the issue will be created with nobody assigned to it. So it will work either way. And that's actually all you have to do with this node. Next, we have to get our project IDs. Now, this is a little bit more complex. If you're learning n8n and would like a little bit of help, I'm hosting a free community to help you guys out. There, we have challenges to earn some real cash money. I also answer any question that gets posted in the group. So if that's something you're interested in, please check out the link down below. So in order to get the project ID, you actually need to list the projects out, okay? So we have to use something called GraphQL, which is kind of a pain, but the good thing is I did all the work for you guys, right? So go ahead and create an HTTP node with method post to this URL right here. Of course, you can download this workflow for free down below. And we're going to use the predefined credential of the GitHub API, right? And we're going to add our GitHub account, okay? Next, we're going to send body using JSON, and we're going to add this query, and right here, we're going to put the name of the organization that has the projects under it. Now, this might be a user instead of an organization. So just ask ChatGPT to modify this for you if you're a user and you're not a company, okay? And when you get it back, you'll get this huge list of different projects and things, but all of them have IDs, right? So you can then grab those project IDs and use those above. So back to here, we have to link the GitHub repos to the projects, okay? So here we have the GitHub repo name, and here I have the project ID of the projects that are managing them. Now, in a better solution, you might want to use something like Supabase to manage this, or Google Sheets. But to be honest, I mean, it doesn't take that long to set this up, so I thought it would be fine. Now, this is a bit of JavaScript code that basically just grabs info from the issue form node, matches it, and returns the project ID that you need. ChatGPT can build this for you just fine. Next, we have to attach to the project, and at this point, there is basically no more GitHub nodes. Why? Because the GitHub nodes in n8n don't do all the things you want it to do, right? So we're going to use GraphQL. Okay, so you can copy and paste this node right here. The link is the same, everything's the same, except for the body changes. That's the only difference, okay? So keep that in mind. Now here for this body, you can use, again, ChatGPT to generate this for you. But basically what you're looking for is you're looking for this query right here, and we're grabbing the project ID from the node previously, and we're grabbing the issue ID from the GitHub node a couple of nodes back. So that issue ID is actually this node ID. It is not this ID right here. I don't know why, but the issue is the node ID. It is what it is. What this will do is this will link the issue to the project. Cool. So now, if I was to run it up to this point, I would have a new GitHub issue. It would be assigned to somebody. It would have a name, it would have a description, and it would be in the right project, but it would have no status, it would have no priority, it would have no due date, it would have nothing, right? So we need to create the rest of that. And in order to do that, we have to grab the fields. So here again, we can copy this node and paste it here. And all we're doing is we're grabbing all of the different types of custom fields that we created in GitHub. You guys can create custom fields all you want, and this will still work. So this can be customized to the way that you guys run your GitHub projects, okay? Now, all of this, as I said, is exactly the same. The only thing that changes is this body right here. And all we're doing is we're adding the same project ID that we added before. Now, what does this do? This gives us an output of all of the different custom fields we have. So we can assign it to people. We have a title. We have the status, right, of backlog, pending, in progress. And basically what we're looking is for the IDs, because in GitHub, you can't set a custom field by a name. You need an ID. And all of the GitHub projects have different IDs for the different custom fields. So this was the best way to dynamically grab that information. So this one right here, this just cleans out some unnecessary data. I'm only grabbing the fields I want, the custom fields I want, right? So if I look here, I'm grabbing the status, the priority, the size, and I'm also grabbing the due date. Now, this actually isn't quite necessary. You could delete this and it still might work. I just wanted to simplify it a little bit so that the AI didn't get so confused. keep that in mind. That being said, this code was generated by ChatGPT. I just took this JSON right here. I was like, yo, I need this status one right here. I need this priority one right here. I need this size one right here. Make me some code to extract that. And it did. Next, we have our final AI agent node. Now, for this one, I use ChatGPT because I think it's a little bit better at making decisions than Claude is. And this prompt looks like this. It just says your task is to analyze the GitHub issue description and determine the most relevant custom field values based on the content. Return the following: one status field ID, one status option ID, a priority field ID and option ID, size field ID and option ID, a date field ID, and an assignee field ID. Now, because these are custom ones, we have to say, oh, this option needs to be this value, right? So we need two IDs. Not the best system, GitHub, but whatever. We're making it work. Now, I'm telling you here to only return ID values, no names, because I was getting some bugs where sometimes it would just return the name of the thing and not the ID value, right? And here's the status name, and I grab it from the form because I told it, yo, I want this status, right? So in this case, we got the backlog. Then I say, here's the priority. Again, I grab the priority from the form, okay? So we can just go back all the way back here to the form. This issue form right here, I literally just dragged and dropped the status like that. With the priority, I did the same, drag and drop. And then I said, here's the task description for the task size. Now I grabbed those from the last one, which was here. Grab the title and the description, just drag and drop. And then here are all of the IDs to choose from. And I grabbed that from the last node where I cleaned it. But again, you don't need to do that. You could technically grab it from here instead. I just wanted to clean it up, like I said. And then I say, your response will be in this format. You have a status field, priority field, size field, and a date field. Okay? Then what I did was I required specific output format. And here I added a structured output parser, which has the exact same JSON as right here at the bottom. Okay, and that output looks like this right here. It has a bunch of these ugly looking IDs, but with those IDs we can finish the workflow. Now, you could technically combine these next three nodes into one, but it was a lot easier to just do it this way. This is not something that needs to be really fast. It just needs to work. So since it was easier to build this way, I decided this was fine. It's nice, it's simple. So this first node is setting the status, the second one is setting the priority, and the third one is setting the size of the task. You can copy and paste the grab and filter fields node, put it right here, and all of these will be almost exactly the same. So all of this top part, again, is exactly the same because this is GraphQL. But what's changing here is the query in the body. And we're adding a mutation for this project ID, this field ID, and these options, right? We grab the project ID from a bunch of nodes back. Right here, this project ID. Next, we grab the item ID. This item ID is coming from the ID right here of attaching it to the project, okay? So you just drag and drop that there. And then you've got the field ID. Now this one is the status field and the option ID, okay? And then you got to make sure the operation name and this name are the same. Now again, ChatGPT will generate this code. Now you're going to find that this looks very similar to the next two nodes, okay? So if you copy this node and you paste it for set priority, we go to the query. The query looks the same. The difference is this says set priority. I'm not sure if it's the same or different in this one, but in one of them it is different. Okay, so that one might change. Again, ChatGPT generated this. But then I'm grabbing the project ID from the same node I just showed you. The item ID, again, this is exactly the same. Then we have the field and the option ID, and these ones are for the priority, so it's these two right here. And again, the operation name changes. Now if we go to this third node right here, again, it's exactly the same. The only difference is we're changing right here, these two, and this. That's all that's changing between the three HTTP nodes, okay? And again, ChatGPT can help you out with this. Beautiful. So now we have a task. We have status, priorities, a size. It's assigned to somebody. The only thing we're missing is a due date. Okay, and we can see here I actually did a error. So if you see this item, this should actually be first. So whenever you see that and it's red, it should work now. So it should look like this, and instead of item, it should say first, right? So that's a bug of mine. But that being said, basically all we're doing is we're grabbing this issue form from there. We say is the string exists, right? And if it exists, then we're setting the due date. Again, this node is almost exactly the same as these three nodes. The only difference here is we're changing this part right here, we're changing this part right here, we're changing these two right here. And this one, of course, is broken as well. I believe it's due date like that. And now that works. Beautiful. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like some more help with n8n, I am hosting a free community to help you guys out. There we have challenges to earn some real cash money. I also answer any question that gets posted in the group. So if that's something you're interested in, please check out the link down below, and you guys have a wonderful day.